everyone, and hello, Facebook. I am so excited today to have my dear friend, Courtney Epps. And I just have to say, we haven't known each other very long, have we?
No, we have not.
But, sometimes the universe and God just puts people in your path. And I met Courtney. I saw her kind of popping up here and there on Facebook, and also with some of our other mutual friends, Esther Wildenberg and Sherry Tree, who run Codebreaker Technologies. But anyway, Courtney, for you guys who are watching, you need to stay on this live because this woman is brilliant when it comes to business solutions, business strategy. She owns and runs and has built up an amazing team, haven't you, with outside the box business strategies and solutions. And she is doing amazing work. And I just have to say, I'll just cut to the chase, saving people, including myself, a lot of money on their taxes. So I just think, man, oh man, Courtney, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And, it's crazy having a conversation with you, last month. I often ask people, how much it costs them to file their own tax return, and checking a box can make a world of difference. And I think you, of all people, have figured that one out, right?
Oh, yeah. And so what the irony is, and everybody on my Facebook, like, you guys know that I'm like super transparent, but I will say that I was really stressed out about my taxes. And I pretty much knew I could come up with some money and pay off taxes and here and there. But I saw Courtney coming across my feed and all this stuff. And I was like, I just need to have a heart-to-heart from one businesswoman to another powerful businesswoman about my vulnerabilities in my own business. And here I am. I'm a business coach. Here I am. I worked for the largest global accounting firms in the world as an accountant. Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers. I was an auditor for massive corporations. I was a chief compliance officer. I am an IRS expert. And I just overestimated my intelligence and my capabilities when it came to doing my tax return. I was like, I don't need an accountant. I know how to do this. And so, but I got myself into a pickle, and I reached out to my sister here, Courtney, and I think that what I love about you is that you were open to receiving, and you didn't judge me. You just came right to the table with the solutions, like an answer to my prayers. So you mentioned checking off a box. So yeah. Tell us about this box. Tell us about how we can, what a lot of us are, the money we're leaving on the table by not getting a professional to do our tax returns.
Yes. So, I think first and foremost, guys, I'll give you a little bit of background about me, who I am. I've been an accountant for 19 years. And I'll tell you, just like you just said, we think we know things, and we go to school and we're supposed to learn all this information, but there's not one class on tax strategy. There's not one class that teaches us how to save people money in taxes. It was literally about, reviewing financials, creating journal entries, all that good stuff, but it was not truly trying to help people. And so same thing goes for continuing education. And so, I'm first and foremost an entrepreneur. I've not worked for anyone since I was 19 years old, and I will keep it that way for the rest of my life because I don't think anybody could ever hire me. But here's the thing, what you don't know is costing you money, and 96% of business owners are overpaying in taxes because, one, they think that they know some things, and 2, they're missing out on expenses that they're entitled to take that they don't realize that they can take. And the third aspect is that they're not structured properly, is what I typically find. And 4th is that they think their accountant is taking care of it. And that is as far from the truth as you can possibly get, because accountants are not there to find you money. Accountants are there to prepare your taxes based upon the information that you provide for them. And so many times people believe, well, I've got this CPA, I've hired them and they, I paid them all this money, or, I can do it on my own. I can answer all the questions through TurboTax. And the box that I'm talking about, there was a box that it asked somewhere along the line when you were preparing your tax return, and it disallowed $34,000 in expenses that would have been written off. And that's the thing, like, you don't know what you don't know. And so, with business owners, I want to first and foremost tell you that being a business owner is the greatest tax savings that you'll ever have. Like, there's no greater tax shelter than being a business owner, because it allows you the benefit of being able to write off things that you're already spending money on, or that you won't in life and that you need in life, especially if you're a home-based business owner. So I work a lot alongside speakers, coaches, trainers, and network marketers. And what I do is I free up money for them so that we can utilize that money to one, have more so that we can live more, and then we can give more. And so that's kind of my mission in life. But from there, how do we save money in taxes? We've got, first and foremost, is missing deductions. We've got deductions that we have the ability to write off. Like right now, we're utilizing software. Well, obviously that's a tax deduction. We have things like meals and mileage and cell phone and internet and business use of your home. And there's a way to write off medical bills as 100% tax deduction through a business expense. There's ways to write off all of your medical insurance can be 100% tax deductible. So all of these things just start adding up and compounding to allow you as a business owner to hire more employees. And here's the kicker, like the Congress allows us massive tax advantages to hire employees and spend more money in our business so that then the employees can in turn pay the taxes. And when you understand that, it's like, oh, wow, okay, I get it. It makes sense to me. Someone has to pay the taxes. We hire more people. We get massive tax deductions because of all of these things that we're doing and spending. And then someone ends up paying the taxes, and that hits back to a W-2 employee.
Gotcha. Okay. And so you mentioned home-based business, and you mentioned also network marketing. And tell us a little bit about you'd be brain dead not to be a network marketing message that you've been sharing. Because I know you've had a lot of leaders in that space, and you're most recently been shooting some pretty exciting stuff with Eric Worre, who is the founder of GoPro, which is super exciting. So what is it about network marketing, or is it the home-based business, or is it both? What is that?
So, I got involved, just so 10 years ago, I sold my accounting practice and insurance agency. The guy I sold it to stopped paying me. I was $250,000 in debt. I was 30 years old, and I just lost 3,500 clients almost overnight. And I had a 5-year non-compete in the entire state of South Carolina for anything involving insurance and accounting. And so I was kind of broken. I was broke and I was broken. And so my parents actually got me involved in a network marketing business. And I fell in love with the aspect that I could utilize that to then grow my accounting practice. But along the way, I started preparing tax returns for people in that industry. And I realized something that I never realized before, is that a W-2 employee could save on average of $4,000 to $7,000 a year by having some sort of home-based business and attempting to earn an income. And it really got me excited that, one, I could not only at that point in time help someone save money in taxes, but I could also help make money. So it was like a double whammy, but I'm not involved in network marketing, just so you're aware. I haven't been in network marketing for the last 2.5 years. I'm a huge advocate for the industry. And the reason why is because that's where I got my personal growth and development to become a professional again, to grow my accounting practice again. It's where I created my marketing. So I didn't have to spend $1 in marketing or advertising. When the great thing about hanging out with network marketers, if they like what you're doing, they'll share you with everyone under the sun and help you grow your business because they understand the value and the power of networking.
Yes.
The other aspect of that is that what I've found is that the network marketing space, one, you got to have a business. Like, I don't care what that business is for you, you've got to find a product or service that you can start sharing with people so that you can step into the second tax system that was created for True Wealth, which is the business owner tax system. Well, what do we do from there? Do we buy a franchise? Do we go do a traditional brick and mortar? Or do you do some sort of home-based business? Well, to me, home-based business is the least, as far as, overhead, you've got the least risk that's associated with it. And then at the end of the day, for a couple $100, you can typically get started in some sort of home-based business, network marketing, and it's like a turnkey. So it's not like you have to build this entire organization, this business, this foundation, and get a CRM, and you don't have to do all the things that you typically would have to do in order to have a traditional business or to have your own home-based business. So that's why I love the network marketing space. One, you're able to work with people who have already been beneficial or they've already experienced great success in the industry, and they will help you get to where they've gotten because they financially benefit from you. And you get the personal growth and development. You get a way to make some extra money. You can promote it to other people. And if you teach them how to make money, well, guess what? You make more money. Like, it just makes sense to be in that industry.
Yes. And I completely agree. I have always been a fan of network marketing for the same reasons. Robert Kiyosaki also says that we don't learn how to sell in high school, and we don't learn sales in college. Even if you learn sales in the field, in one of the few industries that anybody can get into like that and learn how to sell. And sales, whether you like it or not, is the key to wealth.
Yes.
And so it's a critical skill set to have, and that's where you can learn it. Where can you go other than network marketing and get trained? You guys have no idea when you go to corporate America and they train you in sales. Like, my training for 1 year when I reached the higher ranks at Ernst & Young was over $100,000 of expense that the company absorbed to train me. And if you go into network marketing, you're getting access to that without having to work in an industry for 15 or 16 years and finally work yourself up the ranks to get that type of training.
Yes.
So I also know we have lots of friends in network marketing, and they are so passionate and so darn good at what they do. We have a friend, Michelle Poe, with LifeVantage. She's grown an amazing team, and that woman puts everything she can into every single one of her team members. And so I do think selecting your leader is a huge component, someone who walks their talk and all of those things. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yes. Well, and the other aspect is that, and I'll just share this with you. If you don't understand or believe or think that network marketing is real, here's the thing. The guarantee for you in some sort of network marketing business or home-based business, you could be a coach, you could be a consultant, like, you can be whatever you want to be. I would just suggest you find something that is home-based. Now, do you have to stay at home? No. The last interview that I did earlier today, it was like, I wish we would change it from being home-based to anywhere-based. And it's like, that makes total sense. A home-based business means that you can go anywhere you want and you can build your business. And so it doesn't have to necessarily be at home. But here's the statistics, guys, and I want you to understand this. 46% of Americans don't have an extra $400 to their name. And 69% of Americans don't have an extra $1,000 to their name. And those studies were done before the pandemic. And to be willing to say, seeing how 43 million Americans lost their jobs for, months on end, and I think there's still over 20 million currently right now without a job, that those numbers have probably gotten even less, that, 50 or 60% have an extra $400 to their name. Well, here's the thing. You can fix that problem, and you can have just about anything in your life that you want if you believe that you can get it. But here's what happens. You have to first be able to free up the money in order to get involved in some sort of business. So most people believe that it costs a lot of money to get started in business. Well, it doesn't cost a lot of money. I'm here to tell you, a couple $100 and you could start a business today. But how do you get the couple $100 if you don't have it? Well, here's the great thing. By having a home-based business, and let's say you are a W-2 employee, you can actually increase your exemptions on your W-4. And what that will do is allow you more money in your paycheck every single week or biweekly. And then in a month or 2 months, you'll have the extra money to get started in your business. By doing that, here's what happens. Now you've moved over in this second tax system. And why that's important is the system for W-2 employees are broken. And here's why. The average household in America makes $60,000 a year, and they pay $14,000 in taxes. And so that means that they're left with a take home of $46,000 a year for a family of 4 is the average. Yep. So what's left over, they have to use for cost of living. And cost of living on average in America is $53,000 a year. So that means that as a W-2 employee, the average family in America is going in debt $7,000 a year to work 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, to take 2 weeks paid vacation. Well, here's the problem with that. And my battery's about to go low, so I'm gonna let you talk and then I'll step back in. But here's the problem. If we're constantly going in debt, like where are we at 10 years from now? We're $70,000 in debt or even more than that. And the reason is you don't even realize it's happening. So by having a home-based business, you're saving $4,000 to $7,000 a year that on things that you're already spending money on living expenses. So I'm leaving it to you. I'll be right back. Give me 10 seconds. Go for it.
So, wow, that was mind-blowing. Y'all, I am telling you that when I was in corporate America and I was a W-2 employee, which I need to let my dog out. So just 1 minute.
So here I am. I'm back. This is funny.
My dog shut the door because she jumped on it to get out. And then now I had to go open it.
Awesome. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I just knew if I did not jump and go get my battery, like it was going to die right in the middle. So here's the great thing. One thing that people believe, just like I said, is that they have to have a lot of money in order to make money. That's not true in the network marketing space. It costs a couple $100 to get started. So you can increase your exemptions on your W-4. You can have the extra money in a month or 2 to get started. And then what happens is that because you are now in business and you're attempting to earn an income, and what does attempt means? That means that you are telling people what you're doing. Like you're opening your mouth, you buy business cards, you send people messages on social media, whatever you want to do. All you have to do is show that you are attempting to earn an income. Now you can take advantage of your living expenses that were living expenses yesterday that today are now business expenses. And what does that look like? Meals, mileage, cell phone, internet, business use of your home. You can hire your kids, your products, which are now cost of goods sold. So all of these things become tax deductions for you that yesterday were not. Mm-hmm. And so as a business owner now, you have access. Typically, I see on average that someone saves or has in deductions an extra $20,000 to $25,000 of money that they're already spending. So you're already, that's part of your cost of living, but now those things can become tax deductions for you. And that offsets against any income that you're currently making or against any income that you're making with your business. And as you continue to grow your business, you're at a place that you can make $20,000 or $25,000 a year tax-free, because on paper you have losses and you can offset those losses with any other income that you have and decreasing your taxable income massively.
Amen. Okay, so did you guys hear that? Because So here's what happens a lot of times when people are looking to start their own business. So, I help people start and grow online businesses. And so I specialize in the coaching industry and experts, but people from all different types of industries come to me as long as they want to do business online. And there's always this dilemma. I need to make exactly what I'm making on my paycheck in order for me to start my company or leave my job. And I'm trying to tell y'all, it's not the same. You can't say I make $60,000 in my W-2 job, so that means I need to make 60 in my business, because the take-home pay is night and day.
Well, and here, so let's talk about that. $100,000 a year as a W-2 employee. Let's look. So you'd have to pay federal and state taxes, plus you would pay FICA taxes. So you're going to have on average of 40% of every dollar that you make as a W-2 employee, if you're making $100,000 a year, is going to pay taxes. Yep. So what's left over is you have $60,000. That's your take home pay. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I can make, let's say, the same $100,000, or let's not even say that. Let's say we make 60 in our business. Okay. From that 60,000 that I make, I get to deduct meals, mileage, cell phone, internet, business use of home, all that good stuff. Now those expenses I still had making $100,000, but now at the 60,000, I'm doing this as a business, I get all these deductions. So I take the 60, I deduct, let's say $25,000 worth of deductions. What's left over, that's $35,000. Now I'm in a lower tax bracket.
Yes.
Now, and here's the thing, it gets better, because as a business owner, you only have to pay taxes on 80% of your income from your business. So there's something that came into law back in 2018. It's called a 20% pass-through entity deduction. So that same $35,000, I don't have to pay taxes on $7,000 of it. Well, 35 minus 7, now I'm down to what, $28,000, right? Well, the standard deduction is 24 if I'm married. So now my taxable income is $4,000, and guess how much I pay in taxes? $400 if I don't have any children. If I have children, then I'm getting the maximum earned income credit and the maximum child tax credit, which, for me, I have 6 children. That is almost $18,000 in a tax refund, and I didn't pay any taxes.
Yeah. Yep.
So that, and that's the power, right? Drop the mic. Like, that's the power of being a business owner. And it gets even better as you continue to make more and more money. Then you have an LLC that's treated as an S corporation. So you can bypass 80% of your self-employment taxes. So, which is what most people think as a W-2 employee. They think, well, you're going to pay more taxes than me. No. Right? You might think that I'm going to pay a little bit more in self-employment taxes, because if you guys don't know, there's something that comes out of your paycheck if you have a W-2, and it's called FICA taxes. And FICA taxes are 7.65% of every dollar you make goes to Social Security and Medicare. Well, if you're employed, then your employer, like my staff, I have to pay the matching FICA. So they pay 7.65, I pay 7.65. Together, that is 15.3% of all their income. Well, if you're self-employed and you're just a Schedule C or an LLC or a partnership, then you would have to pay the self-employment taxes, but it's not on your gross income. It's not on the $100,000 that we just talked about. It's on the after expenses number. So although you may pay at a lower rate, is 7.65% as a W-2 employee, I'm paying it at a much lower level. And so I'm not having to pay it on $100,000, I'm paying it on $35,000. Now you can fix that and go another level. So that same $35,000, now I can treat that as an LLC, as an S corporation for tax purposes. And what that allows me to do is to bypass 80% of those self-employment taxes. So as you continue to make more and more money, you have ways as a business owner to almost eliminate, like Amazon, Amazon has paid $0. Like they claim losses for 20 years and paid $0 on $11.2 billion last year. And that's because of tax strategy and planning. So you have the availability to do just about everything you want in the business space and be able to write off most of those things because Congress allows it. That's just the way it is.
Yes. So I just want to reiterate, because this is a good opportunity, because so tax strategy is not accounting and it is not bookkeeping. So if you're a business owner and you think you're doing a bang up job just getting a bookkeeper, keeping your receipts in an envelope, turning them into her on a monthly basis and putting them into Quicken, you're not there yet. No. And I'm just going to tell you, as your friend, if you're here watching, you're my friend, that you need to book a call with Courtney, and you need to, because I'll just be honest, like I was shocked, like that I didn't know some of these things. And of course I don't keep up with the regulations and the different, you keep up with the legislation that's, like you mentioned, in 2018, the 20% pass through, and that stuff you've got to like be in the game every single minute of the day. And that's what Courtney and her team do. So I just wanted to make sure, because so many people think they're doing what they need to do by just entering their transactions into Quicken.
Yes. And Quicken, if you're using Quicken, you're not in the right place today. It needs to be like QuickBooks Online. Quicken like went away like 12 years ago, at least. But, and that's the thing, like, you're right. One of the biggest things is the bookkeeping. And I'll tell you, I just had a conversation with someone right before here. I did a tax strategy session. And, people call me all the time. They're like, Courtney, like, can you give me some advice on what I need to do? And I said, yeah, where's your books? Like, where's your P&L? Where's your balance sheet? Let me look at that first, and then I can tell you exactly what to do. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have it. And they don't understand the importance of it. But here's what happens when you were an auditor. You got to make things super simple for an auditor. If you ever get audited, you need to provide them with a profit and loss statement. You need to provide them with a balance sheet. You need to be able to show that those connect directly to a general ledger. And you need to take that general ledger and be able to connect that right back to bank statements to prove that they have been reconciled, and the information that has been given to the auditor matches your tax return, and it matches the P&L and the balance sheet. So hands down, you've got to make it super simple for an auditor, and you've got to have some sort of accounting software in order to do that. Like you just got to. Now, the second step, and the problem with it, is people don't realize how beneficial the bookkeeping is, because the bookkeeping is what either costs you or saves you. And so when someone is missing, like if you just hired like an office manager / bookkeeper, or you just had a bookkeeper and they don't really know what they're doing, the problem is if they're missing out on expenses or putting expenses to the wrong places, mm-hmm. you're going to overpay in taxes. And the most that we've ever found, we have one client that they did their own bookkeeping one year. We did it the next year, and it was a $975,000 difference in taxes. But, we've had clients who had they had CPAs who prepared their returns. They had full-time bookkeepers at the CPA firm. And the most we've ever found in that situation has been $110,000 a year for 3 years. And they had a full-time bookkeeper and a full-time CPA who worked together. And the problem was they were not structured properly in one of their companies. They were overpaying themselves in a paycheck, which was causing them to overpay in self-employment taxes. Wow. And get that access to the 20% pass-through that they should have had access to. And the last thing was the missing deductions. So the accountant didn't understand the network marketing industry and the home-based business industry, and they were not writing off certain deductions, because you got to think, bookkeepers are typically W-2 employees. They don't comprehend that you're writing off your cell phone and your meals and mileage and internet and all these things. And so the bookkeeper is not responsible for the taxes because they don't understand taxes. The tax preparer is not responsible for the bookkeeping because they didn't prepare the bookkeeping. And so at the end of the day, nobody's responsible other than you, and you're overpaying on your taxes. Right. And that's the way it works, 99.5% of the time, every single time I get involved, and we find that the books are always wrong, and it's always costing the client money.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm hoping you find things wrong in my books. As we go back and prepare and refile some of our past, my past returns to strategically clean things up and find some cash. And we're already doing that. I mean, it's like, in my opinion, if you can spend $1,000 to make $1,000, or if you break even, you're good. But we're doing far more than that. And it's like, literally when I posted today, I was like, I never thought I would enjoy talking about taxes until I met Courtney. Because a lot of people will shy away from the things that they don't know well, and they'll try to ignore it and just hope that maybe they could just go to taxact.com once a year and just do their return real quick and pay a few fees and then move on. But the truth is it's not, taxes aren't an expense. They're a strategy. They are a way to minimize your overall reported net income and pay and all of those things. And so now I have a better relationship with taxes, because now I know taxes are for me, not against me.
Yes.
If I use them the right way and get the right partners like you and your team to help me with that.
Yes.
So that was just a commercial for you. So yes,
exactly. Well, and that's the thing, I'll give you, for instance, as far as business deductions, last Saturday, we bought a truck. We bought a 2020 2500 Chevrolet or whatever. I don't care. All I care about is that it's going to pull a toy hauler on Saturday. Yeah. So we had to buy this truck for $65,000, which is 100% tax deductible for our business, because we're buying a toy hauler, and it's going to haul the toy hauler, which is a $68,000 tax deduction, 100% for our business, because we're going to use it to drive around the country, bring our kids with us. I will be able to spend time with them, but I will be able to work, and then they will be able to spend time during the day doing the things that they want to do and enjoying themselves. But we can go around the country and we can see our clients, and I can do events and, all of these things that I've been wanting to do for years and years. But guess what? That's $100,000 in tax deductions for us. We didn't even have to put down payments on either one of those things, because of our credit. Thank God, is finally, gotten to a point. It's funny, when you don't need the money, they just want to give you everything. When you need the money, it's nobody wants to give you anything. Whatever. Okay, I'll use your money. Thank you for giving it to me. Yeah. But here's the thing: that $130,000. One, I'm going to have a lot of great times with my family in that, and it's going to be amazing because we can be together, and we're taking our ATVs. We bought 4 ATVs this year for our kids. Well, that's a fringe benefit because, it's our kids are employees, and we hired them to work for us. And so that's an added bonus for them and a benefit for us. But that $130,000 will save me $50,000.
Yeah.
Taxes. I wanted that anyway. I'm going to use it for my benefit, but I'm also I'm buying it. The intent of buying it was to grow my business and to be able to travel around the country and speak, which is what what I'm put on this earth to do. Yeah. And so we'll have more relaxing, less taxing on the side of it. Yeah. I'll have a picture of me on the side. But think about it, guys. I bought the things that I wanted, and because I'm using those things for business purposes, it saved me almost a truck. If you understand the game of taxes, it becomes fun. If you don't understand it, you'll end up paying the money on taxes.
Right.
It's crazy.
Exactly. Okay, so I have a few questions. Yes. And if any of these, I don't know any disclaimers on, whatever. If you can't answer, fine. But so
I'm sure.
Let's see. Here's just a basic question. Should I try to budget and hire an accountant for my own company, use a friend, or buckle down and do it myself?
Well, you're going to overpay in taxes. So I tell people you can either hire me for a little bit of money or you can pay the IRS a lot of money. I mean, and that's the best way I can tell you. And if you don't hire the right accountant, you're going to pay a lot of money in taxes. Mm-hmm. So, you've got to find someone who understands the home-based business industry, if that's what you're in, who is devoted to helping you save money in taxes, not to just prepare your taxes. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, like I review and we work in every state, just so you guys are aware, but I review tax returns in my spare time, which there's not a whole lot of. I'm reviewing tax returns. So when I'm not doing an interview or a tax strategy session, that's the only job that I have at this accounting firm now. Mm-hmm. And I review every tax return that comes into our office. And so what happens is I will go through it, and you haven't written down on your deduction spreadsheet that you have a certain deduction, but I know you should have it because you're in network marketing. And so instead of, here's your tax return, like we prepared it based upon the information you gave us, I'm going to pick up the phone and call you and say, why don't you have this deduction? I know you have these expenses. Well, I didn't track it the way I was supposed to track it. So, I just didn't claim it. I mean, you do realize that's 35 cents of every dollar that you don't track it's costing you that much money. Like, Tell me how much money that is. Like, go look it up and give me the number so that I can save money in taxes. So that's the one thing I'll say. I'm not saying that you need to hire an accountant, but what I am saying is that you're going to overpay in taxes. So you're either going to spend it with IRS, which is not a tax deduction, or you're going to spend it with me, and it is a tax deduction, and you're going to pay less in taxes. So that's right. I hope that answers your question.
That's right. And I concur. I think that, it should just be it's a business expense. It should be part of your team when you do your SWOT analysis and you go, these are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And if you are not, and I mean like a certifiable tax strategist, then you need to outsource it. I cannot reiterate more to you guys that I have a master's degree in business. I have a master's degree in accounting. I have, I didn't get certified as a CPA. I almost did, but I was shocked that I had made this mistake. And part of the mistake was not just my knowledge base. It was also the online system I was using didn't point out this box. And so I had entered my information, but didn't check this box. I don't even remember seeing it as an option. So, all right. So I'm curious too, for my own benefit, because I've got 4 kids. And so what if they were to come work with me? Then what I understand there are some benefits like not paying taxes up to $12,000 of salary, per year and those things. But are there age limits, and what does that look like? Do you mind to share some of that?
Yep. So you can pay your children $12,000 a year without them having to pay any taxes on it. You can pay them more than that. It's actually part of the tax code called income shifting. So you're shifting income off of yourself and onto someone that's at a lower tax bracket. Mm-hmm. So it's a huge benefit. But you can hire them. It's been held up in court at age 7. So, that's actual precedent. You can hire your kids even younger than that. The only thing is you need to hire them and have them do something you would pay someone else to do. Mm-hmm. So if you would pay anyone else to do it, now you don't want to pay them $500 an hour to clean your house. So, whatever you would pay someone a reasonable wage to do the same services, mm-hmm. They could be a personal assistant. Like I take my kids with me. I take at least one child with me to every event. And so they're getting the benefit of being in that event. They're getting the exposure of being with me and listening to me speak and being a part of that. And then they're also helping me. So, I have kids that my 18-year-old daughter, she works with us full time, and she has been since COVID hit. And before that, she worked part-time. Now she's out of college until January, and she'll start as a junior with, she's going to Clemson, and she's majoring in accounting. And so, the joys of that is, one, we get to build a business together. We're building a legacy together with our family. But if they're over the age of 18, you would just have to withhold FICA taxes on them. So under the 18, there's no taxes. There's no state taxes. There's no federal taxes, no unemployment, no FICA. You as the employer don't have to match the FICA either. If they're over the age of 18, then you would just have to withhold FICA on them, and then they would pay the FICA. But there's a couple other things that you can do. There's something called a gift leaseback. You can actually, if you have property or equipment, you can actually, and it's depreciated out, you can actually double up on that, and you can gift a piece of property or a piece of equipment or a vehicle to one of your children, and then lease it back from them. And then that becomes income for them as well. And you can they can write it off because they don't have to pay taxes on the first 12,000, and you can write that off as a lease, which is super crazy. And you've actually essentially doubled up on your deductions. Yeah. And the third thing that you can do with your kids which is what one of the things that we've done with our 18-year-old daughter is we have given her 10% of our company, and each of our children own 5% of our company. So we're starting to gift them a percentage every single year, so that eventually, there is no estate planning. Like, they'll own parts of the company, and we don't have to worry about that. But we're also letting go of a percentage of the profit that we're not having to pay taxes on every year.
Right. Yes, I love that. Okay, that is good stuff. Another question. Yep. If you were, say, for instance, an employee and you quit your job and then you decide to enroll in the COBRA benefits with your former employer because they're good insurance benefits, can you write off that premium because you've now become you have your own LLC or your own business?
You can. So the only stipulation for not being able to write off health insurance is if you have it through your employer. So meaning that you're working as a W-2 employee and you have it paid through your employer. But any other Obamacare, Liberty Health Share, Medishare, all that good stuff, even through COBRA, if you are self-employed, you can write that off.
Right. Okay. That is awesome. So that is for a couple of my clients who had that question. So that's cool. Let's see. And then let's see, okay. So I think I think those were the main questions, because I think you answered a lot of them through the interview. So this was perfect, because I just wanted my Facebook communities to know that taxes are an opportunity.
Yes.
And one thing that has been amazing in working with you that is kind of not seen and not felt, and it's priceless, is that working with you has unlocked some bad energy that I was carrying around about this unknown.
Yes.
And I think that when you face, we all know, like in the personal development world, if you're afraid of something, that's the time you turn and you face it and you go right into battle. And I'm just glad that I had you to go into that battle with me. And we're just getting started, because now I know that I've been relieved of a lot of debt, that now I can put what I, thought I was just going to have to turn around and pay the IRS back into my business and back into my charities and organizations that I support. And so I would love for you to take just a minute and talk about the giving back. I know that's a huge part. You've got a clean water initiative, the human trafficking initiative. So can you share a little bit about that before we wrap up?
Yes. And one of the things I do want to share, because somebody posted this comment, said it overwhelms me so much. I can't talk to anyone about the insecurity because it makes me feel like an idiot. Guys, I've been doing this for 19 years, and I am an expert on it because I've been doing it for 19 years. So there's still parts of the tax code that I don't know because it's irrelevant to what I do on a daily basis. There's still almost every single day, there's things that pop up that I don't know a whole lot about, and I have to do research on it. And, but here's the thing, like, I know taxes. I don't know how to cook. Like, I don't clean. I don't do normal things like, typically what somebody would consider a woman to do. Like, I have a full-time nanny, I have a full-time housekeeper. We have people that we homeschool our 6 kids, but our kids have, they have people that help them. They have tutors. And so, I want you to understand that you're good at something.
Yeah.
And what you're good at, you should be doing. Just like with you. I mean, why would you spend an hour or 2 hours or 12 hours? I think the average person spends 14 hours a year on getting and preparing their bookkeeping so that they can hand it off to a tax preparer. Why would you waste your time, effort, and energy doing that when you could be doing more coaching?
Yeah.
But it makes no sense. You focus on doing what you truly love, and then what happens is that everything changes for you.
Yeah.
And I'm just starting to experience that, finally for the first time, I think, in our accounting practice. Because when you first start in business, it's like, oh my God, like, what am I going to do? Like, I can't hire people because I'm scared to death to hire them because, I could do the work for myself and it would be cheaper, but I'm not going to do the work properly, but, I could still do it. And so we live in this scarcity mindset for so long. And then when you realize, when you start giving and allowing people in, that things start changing. And so 2 years ago, I started something called a social business, and I didn't make it up. I mean, some Harvard people and some really good Nobel Prize winners, a guy named Muhammad Yunus, created what's called social business. And what it means is that I give from a gross income level, just like Tom's Shoes. So Tom's Shoes does it with shoes. For every pair of shoes you buy, you give a pair of shoes. Warby Parker does it with glasses. Every time someone buys a pair of glasses, they give a pair of glasses. And so I wanted to do that because I fell in love. I got involved in a network marketing company that was giving to a nonprofit called Manna Relief. And I fell in love with that nonprofit, and I wanted to be able to provide and feed children. And so that's what they did. They provided whole food, plant-based nutrition to children in need. And I'm like, man, that would be super amazing. Like, what if I could do that with my accounting practice? And I reached out to the founder and I said, hey, what would it cost me to provide nourishment for a child for 28 days, for a month? And he said it was $2. And I said, what do you like, $2, like $2 a day? Nope, $2 a month. You can provide whole food, plant-based nutrition to children. And then I found out that it was the only nonprofit in the world that actually provides whole food. Every other nonprofit gives synthetics to children, which end up killing children over time because their body can't absorb it, especially if they're malnourished.
Yeah.
And so that kind of catapulted my giving. Like, it wasn't something I really had the extra money for. In April of 2018, we committed that, for every dollar that we brought in, because we're giving from a gross income level. Now, here's the kicker. Because we're giving the way that we're giving, it's 100% tax deductible as a business expense. 96% of Americans get no benefit from charitable contributions. And this is why this is important. If you give from a gross income level instead of a net income level, you can actually make it 100% tax deductible as a business expense called cost of goods sold. And so we wanted to connect our consumer, our clients, with the fact that we were giving, so they knew exactly how much we were giving on their behalf. And so for every dollar, we provide a serving of whole food, plant-based nutrition. We've been able to provide 2.4 million servings of food to children in need in the last 2 years. But the thing is I didn't have the money to give when we first started giving. We went from 15,000 servings a month 2 years ago to over 270,000 servings by March of this year.
Wow.
So completely life-changing. Our business has exploded. It's grown 20 times since we started giving. It's grown 30 times since I started focusing on personal growth and development, and got involved in the Tony Robbins world. But then we added on, because that's amazing. Like, I wake up every morning and the thing that I look forward to is how many children are we feeding today? It's not how much money am I making today. It's how many children are we feeding today? And that's about 8,000 every day. And
wow.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. The next thing that we added on was, on Tony Robbins' birthday, February 29th, 2020, we started, I gave $25,000 to Operation Underground Railroad, kind of freaked out about it. But I said, you know what, we're going to get our money back. and because you can't give God. And so, for those of you that don't believe in God, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to upset you, but that I believe in him. And I truly believe that the giving changes everything. And so we gave 25 grand. And on Monday, that was on a Saturday. On Monday, it was our biggest day ever. We made $28,300 that day.
Yes.
It's crazy. So we free a child from sex trafficking about every 3 days now. And so for every $25,000 that we bring into our accounting practice, we free a child from sex trafficking through Operation Underground Railroad. The next thing that we added on, we did that in March, was the last well, and it's WELL. I know I have a spelling, like I have a country accent. Some people can't understand me. So we put in water wells through a nonprofit called The Last Well in Liberia right now, and then we'll move to another country once they have done this border-to-border initiative. Literally, I mean, it's crazy that this nonprofit, for the last decade, they have been focused on ending the water problem in Liberia, and they're about 100,000 people out of impacting an entire country of 5.2 million people with fresh water. And so we provide for safe drinking water for about 53 people every single day. So it's like literally almost a village every week and a half, something like that we're providing for. But here's the thing. That one nonprofit, because they started providing safe drinking water within a 15-minute walking distance for every man, woman, and child in that country, it decreased sex trafficking by 87% indirectly.
Oh, wow.
So we are, so it's been amazing. Like, we have now connected Manna Relief, and we are feeding all the children through Operation Underground Railroad and providing nourishment for them. So they have over 4,000 rescued sex traffic victims who are severely malnourished. And I connected them and said, you know what? I don't know how we're going to do it, but we're committing to providing all the nourishment for every child that you free from sex trafficking forever in 26 countries. And so we've committed to doing that. And that's changed everything for us, because our focus is not about money. Mm-hmm. We free up about $250,000 a week for people, which is life-changing. Like, we are lives. I know that is saving businesses. It's saving marriages. It's allowing for people to have a better life. It allows them to have more and then live more so that they can give more. But in turn, it is so rewarding to be able to wake up every single day, to know how many children you're feeding, to know how many children you're freeing, and to know how many children you're providing safe drinking water for. And then on top of that, you get to save people money in taxes. Like, it's just a win-win.
Yes. That is just amazing. I love all of the statistics and the impact numbers, and I love your faith in that. We share that in common. We're tithers here, and so I'm probably not doing it the right tax way, so we'll have to talk about that.
Yes,
but we do donate 10% tithing to our church, and then a lot of other charities also Operation Underground Railroad monthly. And so, I think that I love this idea of social business and tying the result of your business to different metrics other than just traditional profit loss kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so I honor you for that. And I think if everyone here, would they just stand up and give you a round of applause for just being focused on the right things. And I don't want you guys to miss this. She said her business has increased 20 times since she became a social-oriented business, a giving business, a for-purpose business. And so, and then also adding on her work with Tony Robbins we're both platinum partners, and she increased her business results 30 times, And so when you work on yourself, your business will start to, it will reflect your inner work.
Yes. When the focus is off of money and on to people or changing lives, like, your purpose has to be bigger than any problem. And I think that's the issue today. I think we could truly change everything that's happening and bridge a major gap right now in our world is if we all started focusing, find a nonprofit that you love what they're doing and just commit. Like maybe it's 1% off the top. One, it's going to change everything for you. It will start growing your business in ways that you never thought possible, but it will change you. It'll change your heart. And
Yeah.
the focus comes on gratitude, and it starts becoming, I'm grateful for all these things that are happening to me. It's not like I'm not making enough money right now. And I know that in the process, guys, I didn't have a lot of money 2 years ago. I didn't have the extra money to start giving. I literally gave a check that I knew would have bounced had he deposited in the bank that day. Mm-hmm. And we were just on the verge of regaining everything that we ever owned our entire life. We lost it in a home that was infested with mold. We rented, it was condemned. I lost my memory for 6.5 months. We had major medical bills. We had major lawyer bills. So we had all this stuff going on in our life, and all of those things just kind of went away. Like they all just got better because our focus was not on the stuff that was happening that we couldn't control. It became focused on gratitude and helping others. And that's truly what will allow you. What Tony says is the art of fulfillment and the science of, what is it? You've got the science of, I can't even, mastery, I think, but it's the art of fulfillment that truly continues to allow us to grow. Because at the end of the day, like if you have success, but you don't have fulfillment, like what is it worth? It's not
exactly. What is it worth? What does it matter? Right. Well, this has been absolutely awesome. I've put here a place where you guys can book your strategy session. Even if you aren't 100% sure you need it, you probably do. So, and if you have any other questions, Courtney's great on Facebook. You guys can just put them in the comments here below. She also has a Facebook group called More Relaxing, Less Taxing. So just go look that up here on Facebook. And she just crushes it on giving value and content and tips just nonstop. And she has tons of other lives in her community. So anyway, y'all be sure to check in with her. And I'm glad I can kick in my Southern accent, when I'm talking to you. I feels like home. But thank you again. Do you have any last things you want to share or anything else?
The only thing is, guys, just, go out and change the world. Like, go out and focus on, helping other people so that your life gets better. And then, on top of that, make sure you're taking advantage of all of these massive tax deductions, because the focus should be on strategy so that you can keep more money and then you can have more and live more. That's what we're here for. And then we in turn can give more. So I appreciate you having me on so much, and I thank you for all that you're doing, and I'm so excited that we've been able to help you. Like, that's just it warms my heart that we can do that on a daily basis. And so I just appreciate our clients. And not only did you pay us to do work, but I think for every tax return, it's literally like you're feeding 600 kids. Like, I mean, thank you. Like, that's amazing. So we're all working together to change the world.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you. And thank you guys for staying on this long and hanging in there with us. We hope you got tons of value. That's our purpose, is just to serve you guys. So let us know if you have any questions, and have a great night. Bye.